somebody asked me this yesterday. I was on radio in Baltimore, because there are some Ravens fans that have consternation about John Harbaugh. They won a Super Bowl 12 years ago. They're in the mix from time to time. They've been the 1 seed twice the last 5 years, but they haven't been back to the Super Bowl. They've won 3 playoff games, I believe, since winning Super Bowl 47. Should Harbaugh be on the hot seat? Should he be blamed for it? It's like, look at what he has dealt with in the last 12 years. The back end of the Patriots dynasty, which went right into the front end of the Chiefs dynasty.
Yeah.
How can anyone blame Harbaugh and the Ravens for not being back to the Super Bowl when you go from whatever woke Tom Brady up, presumably the drafting of Jimmy Garoppolo in 2014, so they win 3 more from 2014 through 2018, and then it goes into the Chiefs, who win 3 from 2019 through 2024. I mean, what do you expect? And would you rather be irrelevant? Would you rather have like 1 playoff berth every 3 or 4 years? Or would you rather be a team that is there in the conversation and you understand you're going to come up against some damn good teams? And sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose. And if you don't win at all against a team like the Chiefs, you're at least in the conversation. And so I think, I understand Ravens fans are frustrated, but one team has Patrick Mahomes and one team doesn't. It's that simple.
Well, right. And the other part of this is, I mean, you go from, the 2021 and 2022, right, where you don't have Lamar Jackson for basically all of December. Despite that, they still won, in 2022 enough to get into the postseason and give the Bengals all that they could handle, right, in that game that was played at whatever they call the Bengals Stadium now. So, I think that when you look at it that way, that gives me that much more respect for Harbaugh and what he's done, over the course of so many years. It's really hard, I think, to put teams together that win in different ways. And the Ravens of, 2024 are very, very, very different philosophically from an offensive standpoint, at least, than the Ravens that won back in 2012, just given who the quarterback is. So, if you don't look at it that way and you don't say, okay, well, Harbaugh has done such a good job that he can win a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco and then change his offensive philosophy to fit somebody like a Lamar Jackson so that they can not just be competitive, but actual winners, right? When Lamar Jackson is on the field, that means that they are going to be a contender for a title. Whether or not, obviously they got Patrick Mahomes standing in the way. They got Burrow in their own division. Yes. But that team is going to be as competitive as any as long as number 8 is healthy and on the field. And that, to me, is a huge credit to Harbaugh.
At a certain point, though, the narrative takes over for everyone in Baltimore. Most notably, John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. Can you win the big game in the postseason? And with each passing year that they don't, it becomes more of a talking point that the people in the middle of it, the folks in the crucible, have to find a way to ignore, and you have to find a way to reverse it. And it gets harder each year. I mean, they've had the 1 seed twice. They got blown out by the Titans in the 2019 postseason. And then last year, everything was set up for them to go to the Super Bowl. And here comes the Chiefs, and they just didn't get it done. And I just think that, and it's difficult at this stage of the season to fast forward to, hey, special regular season that makes you a top seed and you're hosting a playoff game, because there's a lot of work you got to put in just to get back in position to do that. And I think one of the challenges when you had a great season that ultimately evaporated in 3 hours on a Sunday in January, going back to 0-0 and climbing the mountain again, knowing that the last time you climbed the mountain, you got thrown all the way to the bottom when you finally got close to the top. But that's part of the reality for the Ravens. They got to dig out of 0-0 and get back there. But when they get back there, it's going to get more and more intense until they finally do it. The question of whether or not they can.
Yeah, there is. And that's the same thing for so many other AFC teams, right? I mean, the Bills, for one, that's certain. The Bengals, can they get back to where they need to be with everything that's going on there and Jamar Chase and all that? I mean, I don't know, the kind of last ride with T. Higgins. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying about the narrative, with the Ravens and whether or not they can actually get over the hump and things like that. I mean, you look at this graph you got up there. Now, the Texans, to me, have as good a shot to reach the AFC Championship game as any of these teams. And look at what C.J. Stroud did as a rookie. And you talk about the jump between year 1 and year 2 with quarterbacks, and they've done a great job, I think, of surrounding him with talent. So it's going to be very difficult for the Ravens and for any team to get back to the AFC Championship game. I mean, I feel like you and I at least would pencil in the Chiefs, right? Because that's just, look, it's been the floor for Patrick Mahomes, overtime of the AFC Championship game. So until that doesn't happen, like I'm penciling in the Chiefs, but it's going to be tough in that gauntlet for any other team to emerge. And there are a lot of great quarterbacks in the AFC, Lamar Jackson among them. We'll see if he can make it back there and then climb over that mountain and get back to the Super Bowl.
Okay, you have a chance to win $1 million in the NBC sweepstakes on Yahoo Fantasy. Just download the redesigned Yahoo Fantasy app or go to NBCSports.com/fantasymillion for additional details. What are you waiting for?
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.